Hey everybody, welcome back to our time together for conscious discipline. Today we are going to talk about choices and free will, building self-esteem and willpower in ourselves, but also in our children. So as usual, we're going to start with our Brain Smart Start, but I want to remind you that Brain Smart Starts in your home are a great tool. So we practice these things out loud when we're together here. Even if it feels silly, we're practicing it so that you get some practice about doing it at home with your own kiddos, with your own family. So a Brain Smart Start at home collects and organizes your brains and your family, right? So maybe it's to come together before you all part ways and go to school and work. Maybe it's to come together after, when you get home from school and work and everybody's stressed and tired, but before you go your separate ways for homework and dinner and all of those things, you take a moment to come back together as a family. It's not just for the start of something either. So if you are getting ready to do homework with your child and they are feeling, maybe in their emotional state or in their survival state, this is also a way to do one-on-one, do the Brain Smart, or just do the connecting ritual to bring them to their higher brain state so that they're ready to learn. So together we'll do our parent chant, which is a little silly, but you can make up one for your family. That's kind of the point of this, right? So we could say, we are here to learn and have some fun. We support ourselves and everyone. If you need help, you can come to me. We are a parent learning family. And then we'll take 3 deep breaths. So take a big breath in through your nose, fill up, push your belly out, and then a slow breath out. Pull your belly in, let your shoulders drop down on that exhale. All right, do it again. Breathe in deep, deep, deep through the nose. And on that slow exhale, let your jaw soften. Do it one more time. Breathe in deep, maybe close your eyes. A slow breath out, let your eyes soften, your whole face and neck just kind of let go. And now we'll do our ritual, right? So we talk about these I love you rituals for little kids, but remember, I'm talking about like through elementary school. It seems silly. They will love it. Elementary school kids like to be silly, right? They like to make connection. So you can do hand slap games, or hand clap games rather. Just the other day with my child, he is 8. He was getting ready to go to a birthday party before we got out of the car. He was like really hyped up. So I just wanted to bring him down just a little bit. So I put both of my palms up and I had him put his palms on mine. You know that game where you move your hands really quick to slap the top of their hand, gently slap the top of their hands. So we did that, but I told him that he couldn't look at his hands, he had to look into my eyes. So there was touch, there was presence, there was eye contact, and it was playful. So when we did that together, he just thought we were playing a game, and I had all of these other ideas going on, right? Bringing him to his higher brain state so he could just take a breath before he went in to greet his friends. So for Peter, Peter Pumpkin Eater, and hey, you might have noticed by now, these are all nursery rhymes, but the words are changed to make them a little more positive. So we don't need to connect over Peter locking his wife up in a pumpkin shell. We just change it a little bit. Becky Bailey changes it a little bit, so it's the new and improved versions. It's more helpful. So Peter, Peter Pumpkin Eater, you can shrug your shoulders up and down or shimmy your shoulders. Had a friend he loved to greet, and then you can shake one hand or two. Treated them with kind respect. Stretch your arm out, place your hand on their shoulder. They'll do the same to you. And in the morning, hugged their neck and offer a big, gentle hug. After you've done that, it's time to make a commitment. So here we're going to commit by saying, I'm going to encourage myself by thinking I am safe. I can handle this during moments of difficulty or doubt. At home, I might say, for our commitment, I might say, it's my job to keep you safe, and it's your job to help me keep it that way, right? That's what we would say to the child. It's my job to keep you safe, and it's your job to help keep it that way. That's our commitment. The power of free will. So think back to when you were first trying new baby food flavors with your kiddo. Did you ever try to make them eat a flavor that they didn't like? Like make them eat it. Like they don't like it, but I'm going to keep putting spoonfuls of it in their mouth, right? How did that go for you? The power of free will recognizes this very basic fact of life. You can't make a person do something unless they are willing. The flip side of this, of course, is that we are the only people we truly have control over. I am the only person that I truly have control over. How often do we act as if we can make someone change? How often do we pretend that we've chosen something that's really someone else's fault? Like I've made a choice and I'm just going to pretend that someone else made me do it. It's something else's fault. The power of free will is the belief that each and every person has the inner power to choose helpful or hurtful actions at any given time. Each of us is responsible for the way that we behave. On the flip side of this, we cannot make others behave in certain ways. They have to choose it for themselves. Free will applies to children as much as it applies to us, but we spend a ton of time trying to make children behave. So this is the time. It is time to stop forcing our will on children and shift from how can I make them behave a certain way to how can I help them choose to behave a certain way? How can I help them choose? How can I help them be more willing? The skill of choices, which we're going to talk about in a second, it helps children to choose between two positive options so that they can exert their free will while operating within the safe limits that we've set. So this is not about giving them a choice for everything and letting them do whatever they want. We pick the boundaries and still allow them to have some choice. When we honor children's free will, choices become a very natural tool for us to use. We often think that our children, their lives are so carefree, that childhood is just such a carefree time. But in reality, young children have very little choice in their lives. Adults are constantly guiding them in what they can and cannot do, can and cannot wear, can and cannot eat, can and cannot play. That's really stressful. Offering children two positive choices provides them a very empowering break from all of that. Choices help them increase their attention span. It helps them develop decision-making skills. It helps them follow through on tasks. It helps improve their self-esteem. It helps them develop responsibility and also helps them feel empowered. Who doesn't want to give all of those gifts to the children in our homes, in our care, in our classroom? Alternately, we can choose to believe that we have the power to make children behave and try to force compliance when a struggle comes up. And that tends to go about as well as trying to force the baby to eat the food that they don't like, right? You can stick it in there and you can make them, but you're not going to make them swallow it. It's going to come right back out. So here's the formula for two positive choices. You have a choice. You may blank or blank. Which is better for you? You may wear the green socks or the blue socks. Which is better for you? You may clean up now or you may clean up later. No, don't say later. Say 5 minutes, or you can clean up in 5 minutes. Which is better for you? You may have yogurt or you may have crackers for breakfast. Which is better for you? So there is no choice in wearing socks. You must wear socks. But here's where I'm going to give you some control. Do you want green or blue? You don't have a choice about cleaning up. It's going to happen. But here's how I can give you some choice and some control. You can clean up now or you can clean up in 5 minutes. You have to have something for breakfast. You may have yogurt or you may have crackers. That's how we give them a little power in their world. And by the way, you might just pick yogurt for your kid every single day because you know that's what they want. But here's an opportunity for you to provide them choices. So even if picking socks and picking breakfast isn't a struggle, it's an opportunity for you to provide them choices. We often say things like, let your sister swing or we're all leaving the park. That's a positive choice and a punishment. When we give a positive choice and a punishment, it's a manipulation. They might comply out of fear of the punishment, but they're going to miss out on all of those benefits that we just talked about, like increased attention and follow through and self-esteem. And wouldn't we all rather our children make a choice because they have a choice, not because they're afraid of what we're going to do if they don't comply? Two positive choices requires two favorable outcomes. That's two choices that you can live with. Two choices that you actually don't care which one they pick. You can swing together or you can take turns on the swing. Which is better for you? And then once they make the choice, even if they do it dragging their feet and seem a little annoyed, encourage the choice and the willingness to follow through. You chose to swing together. That's awesome. Good for you. So you can clean up now or in 5 minutes. You can buckle your car seat or I can help. You can pick up the red blocks or the blue blocks first. You can place it in my hand or on the seat. So if you struggle getting your kid into their car seat, it's not an option. They must sit in their car seat and get buckled in. But here's where I can give you a choice. I can buckle it for you or you can do it yourself. Cleaning up is not a choice. You must clean up the blocks. But I can give you a choice by saying you can pick up the red blocks or the blue blocks first, right? Or how about when your little kid has your phone and you want them to give it back and they just want 1 more minute, or they pull it closer to their body, right? It's not a choice. You must give me back my phone, but you can place it in my hand or on the seat. So we don't say the first part, you don't have a choice about this. I just know he doesn't have a choice. He has to give me back my phone, but here's how I'm going to give him an opportunity. And then I'm going to say out loud, you can place it in my hand or you can put it on the seat. Which is better for you? Infants and toddlers. So infants and toddlers can also make choices, but if they don't have a lot of communication yet, you can hold up two choices in front of them. So for example, let's say I'm going to hold up a truck and a stuffed animal, and then I'm going to say, do you want the truck? And maybe I'll shake it a little bit so they'll look. Or do you want the stuffed animal? And I'll shake that a little bit so they'll look. Babies show you their choice by grabbing or pointing or looking, and then you give the words. Your eyes are telling me you chose the stuffed animal, and then you give them the stuffed animal. So let's read Sophie's choice. Make note that while we are reading this, there are parent notes in here. So take a peek at those parent notes as we go through Sophie's choice. And at the end, I'll remind you where you can find this read aloud if you don't want to come back to this video, and where you can also find Schubert, who's Sophie's older brother and is a little bit of a longer book if you have older kids that can sit for it. Sophie's mom is helping Sophie get dressed. Mom says, you have a choice. You can wear the green shirt or the purple shirt. Which is better for you? Sophie points to the purple shirt. Then mom celebrates. You did it. You picked the purple shirt. Good for you. Sophie holds her arms up, up, up to be helpful. Mom slips the shirt down, down, down over Sophie's head. Next, it's time for shoes. Mom asks, would you like to wear your sandals or your sneakers? Sophie chooses sandals, and then she puts her sandals on all by herself. Mom smiles. You did it. You put on your purple shirt and your sandals. Now you are all dressed. These books are great tools to introduce this concept to your younger children. It's great if you have children who you're trying two choices with and they are struggling with making a choice. Bring them back to this book. Let them listen. Books are an excellent tool for us to use when we are having a hard time explaining something to our children. it's also really helpful for us, right? So these Schubert and Sophie books also help us as the grown-up see how to handle it and how to use the language. So some children are hesitant to choose. Sometimes they'll resist the structure of two choices. Sometimes they'll change their minds. That's all going to happen. You know, we watch these videos, we learn these new things, we get all fired up and ready to go do something new to help our children, and then we do it and it doesn't work. They don't make a choice, or they get upset about the choice, and then we feel like, oh, this doesn't work, and we give up. We can't give up. We gotta keep going. We gotta take that breath, remind ourselves, I can handle this. I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna help them, because it will work. If it doesn't work, that's on us. We need to check in with how calm we are. We need to check in with our choices. Are they really two positive choices? Or maybe the choices are too big, too hard for them to understand, right? Because remember, those little kids, they think in pictures. So here's a way to help some of these things. So if they're hesitant to choose, right? Because think about if you're never given any control over your world and you're never allowed to make any choices, and then someone starts giving them to you, it might feel confusing or unsettling, unsafe. So we might need to help them, right? So what we're going to do is we're going to point out all the small choices that they make throughout the day. We'll create little opportunities for them to make choice, like the socks, and then offer authentic praise through noticing when they do it. You have a choice. You can hold my right hand or my left hand while we cross the street. Which do you choose? You did it. You chose my right hand. You have a choice. You can wear the green socks or the purple socks. Which do you choose? You did it. You chose the green socks. We notice what they've done. We notice that they've chosen. We give them encouragement by saying you did it, right? So saying you did it is not about you making me happy. I don't want her to choose the socks to make me happy. I want her to choose the socks because it makes her feel good, right? So you did it is a non-judgmental encouragement. You did it. You chose the green socks. They'll be more likely to make choices as they gain confidence in their ability to do so. Resisting structure. Developmentally, it is our child's job to test limits. Everybody knew that already, right? Testing limits is how they establish themselves as individuals. So we'll use the parroting technique, repeating, right, to avoid entering into a power struggle with a child who's resisting structure. When we enter into a power struggle with a child, arguably also with adults, it never, ever will have a good outcome. There will be a fight. There will be hurt feelings. There will be yelling. There will be threats. Something bad is going to happen in that power struggle. So we need to avoid them. No good can come out of a power struggle. So what we'll do is we'll repeat the two choices calmly. So I'm going to give them a choice. They're not going to take it. Maybe the behavior gets bigger and louder, and I'm going to stay calm, right? I'm going to breathe. I can handle this. I got this. I'm safe. I'm going to repeat the two choices again. And then if they comply, I'm going to celebrate. You did it. You chose, right? But if they refuse, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to say, you're having a hard time choosing. I'll choose for you. And then you make the choice and then you move on. That's it. You're having a hard time choosing. I'll choose for you. Changing their mind. Children who change their minds are often stressed out. Sometimes it's a learned behavior. So when we have children who often change their mind, we'll take some extra steps to calm and connect with these children, especially before we're offering them a choice. And then notice when they make a choice and stick with it. Right? So if they're able to make a choice and stick with it, again, you did it. You chose the markers. That's it. Okay? So what do we do if they are constantly changing their mind, back and forth, it's happening a lot? Here's what we do. You chose the markers and here they are. You can color with them or not. You chose the pretzels, and here they are. You can eat them or not. Remember that when we say these things, it's about our intention behind it. So it can't be, well, you wanted the markers, this is what you chose, so this is what you've got, like it or not. You can color with them or you can do nothing, right? That is different than saying you chose the markers and here they are. You can color with them or not. It allows them to still make a choice, right? They're in control. I can use the markers that I chose, or I can not color, and maybe that's what they'll choose. I don't want to color, and they might go on to something else. That's okay. You chose the markers, and here they are. You can color with them or not, right? Same things with a snack. You chose the pretzels, and here they are. You can eat them or not. They still have a choice. They are still in control of their own free will. Okay, we're gonna practice creating two positive choices. So in order to get all the benefits we talked about earlier, like increased self-esteem and cooperation, we need to be careful to provide two positive choices. Offering a positive choice and a negative choice isn't a choice. It's an attempt at coercion. It's manipulation. And even think as a grown-up. Have you ever had a supervisor who says, well, you can do this or you can quit, right? That's not a choice. Now we're grown-ups and, sometimes we understand we have to do things that we don't want to do, but oftentimes people pretend they're providing us with a choice, but it's a manipulation. There's only one thing to choose that's not going to hurt you, right? So we need to be certain to choose two options that we're completely okay with. When we're choosing the two options, it requires us to focus on the desired behaviors. We got to let go of the control, the need for control over what they choose. We need to give them two choices that we can live with. So pause this and think about what is a daily frustration in your house. If cleaning up is something that you argue about in your house, in your classroom all the time, then pause here and think about, because sometimes these things are hard to come up with in the moment, right? Especially in the beginning. So if cleaning up is difficult, then practice what you're going to say. You have a choice. You can clean up now or you can clean up in 5 minutes. Which is better for you? You have a choice. You may clean up alone or you can clean up with help. Which is better for you? You have a choice. You can clean up your block slow or we can race. Which is better for you? Right? So pause here, think about your daily frustration, work out and practice what you're going to say, and then come back. So picture rule cards. Picture rule cards respect children's free will, but they also provide clear information about acceptable behaviors. Young children think in pictures, right? They have immature inner speech, which means they need pictures for their brain. So the visuals help them see what's expected, okay? Now, we need to remember that when we're making them on our own, this is how we do it. One choice, the second choice, and then if they're 3 or above, maybe include a picture of what not to do. Our brains like contrast, so the visual of what not to do gives the brain clear information, which helps to set a safe limit. In little ones, leave out the no choice because their brains don't yet understand that crossed out with a line through it symbol means no. But about 3 years old, they're able to choose between the two helpful behaviors and still understand that the crossed out behavior is a no-go. So here's what it might look like for you. I can buckle your seatbelt, or you can buckle your seatbelt. You may not stand on the seat. Another way to give them choices is to make a choice board. So let's say you've been practicing some I love you rituals with your children. You can print out this board. I'll remind you at the end how to get this. And you can choose 2 I love you rituals and say you have a choice. You can do round and round the garden, or you can do Peter, Peter. And then they'll choose, and you can say, you did it. You chose Peter, Peter, and then you can do it. So you're doing your I love you ritual, you're connecting, and you also provided them an opportunity to make a choice. So remember that. We are talking right here about how to provide choices to get them do the things that we want to do. But you can still provide choices. Like maybe your kid doesn't care what you pick out for breakfast or what color socks they wear or who buckles their seatbelt. But when you provide them the opportunities, even if it's not about a struggle, you are giving them opportunity after opportunity after opportunity to make choices and have some control over their world. So, we have come to the end. You can find resources in the video description. So when you leave this video, look in the description and you can cut and paste into your browser links for conscious discipline companion videos with so much more amazing information about these topics. There is also a link where you can request materials from me. I can email you materials to print out on your own, or I can have them printed and I can mail them to your house. So you are welcome to request materials at any time. Same thing on the channel, you're gonna find Schubert's Choice and Sophie Makes a Choice. So come back here and read those books with your children. There's a page right at the end for parents. So after you go through the book, you can stick around and just roll through a couple of the things on that Mrs. Bookbinder's Wisdom page. Until next time, I am wishing you well.